What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building. You feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks. All right, let's get straight right into it. So you already know, man. Obviously, it's finally here. It's the NBA Finals. We got the Suns and we got the Milwaukee Bucks. In the NBA Finals, obviously. And, it's finally here. There's obviously a lot to talk about. I will go further down the line and obviously, give, who I predict to win the series, the reasons why, obviously, doing breakdown in terms of just, seeing the schemes that, the Milwaukee Bucks normally run, how it actually will play out versus the Suns, versus their schemes that they normally run defensively, offensively, personnel, play style, lineups, all of that. Obviously, it's going to be harder to kind of do a full, actual, clean, prediction because, Giannis, we don't know what's going on with his injury. Obviously, they announced that he was going to be available for Game 7 regardless. So the fact that he was able to be available for Game 7 means he probably will, I would say, most likely play Game 1. But that could have just been because it was a do or die situation, right? It was a great thing that they won 2 games without him. And even the first game that they won without him. So it's kind of like, okay, we could go a game and keep resting him, keep buying time, right? The more that they're able to win, unless it gets to a do or die situation. So, that never happened. So we don't know if maybe they're going to get maybe the first 2 games allow him and whatever, or maybe he's fully good. We don't know. So that's kind of hard to tell, what's going to play out in terms of just Giannis and his injury. But again, the Milwaukee Bucks have been great without, Giannis for those 2 games. We've seen the Suns been great without Chris Paul for those 2 games in the, in the conference finals. So these 2 teams are, evenly matched from my opinion and just how you look at it. The play styles actually kind of, they're very similar in terms of how, they play. Giannis, even though he's not the center, he's basically like the center and he will match it well with Ayton, right? And I'll talk about, what I think, what's going to be smart for both teams. And based off of that, we'll just decide and decipher, who has the upper hand. So obviously, we'll go into that. So let's go into the context because I give you my context. Or I give you that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. It's not mine. It's the real one. You feel me? So obviously, over the weekend, Saturday, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks. And before we even get into the finals and the prediction and just discussing what's at bay and what's at hand, we're going to obviously go ahead and just talk about the Atlanta Hawks. It was announced today that they basically highlighted and basically extended and, promoted Nate McMillan. He was obviously the interim head coach. They promoted him now to the full-time head coach. And that was rightfully so. That was long overdue. Obviously, they waited to the offseason. That was their whole plan this whole time. Let him be the interim, and then based off how they play, we'll see if we got to keep him. And he gets like a trial period, right? If we keep him or if we go out and go shop for a new coach, right? And obviously, bruh, he could have won Coach of the Year, basically. Like, he turned it around, since All-Star break or even before that, since, Lloyd Pierce was obviously let go. He turned the whole team around. I don't know what the record was, 30-something and like 15, something like that, going to the conference finals as the 5th seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, and you're facing, like, defensive elite teams. Like, you didn't get lucky card of the draw or anything like that in terms of the standings. Like, you faced the Knicks, who were a top, what were they, number 1 or number 2 defensive rated team in the NBA. Then you faced, the Philadelphia 76ers, who they have elite defense regardless. Obviously, Joel Embiid, it was like, oh, they might catch a break. He's injured and whatever. But he played and looked, at least 80%, I would say even 90% of what he normally would be, right? Because look at his stats. Look how he played. Look how he moved offensively, right? Maybe defensively he might not be the same, but defensively he still always played drop coverage and all of that, healthy or not. So, the fact that you're able to beat a team at that caliber while you're down surmountable or big leads and stuff like that, and it looks like it's insurmountable, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you still come back, you still 26, 25 point leads and stuff like that. Like, it's not like you had an easy road. Like, you literally pushed the car, you pushed the envelope, right? Times where a team of this caliber of the Atlanta Hawks would fold. A team that's his first year, their superstars, their first year in the playoffs, right? They would fold in moments like, oh, the team is just better. The other team just better. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't fold. They pushed the envelope. They kept going, and overcame a lot of doubt, overcame a lot of challenges, overcame some injuries. DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish finally only came at the end of the conference finals, right? So it's like, you didn't have an easy road yourself. Trae Young battling injuries even before the ankle turn. He had the shoulder injury, all that type of stuff, right? So it's like, you always were the road team of every series, right? You never had home court advantage. So, like, so many negative things that they shouldn't have overcame if they were just, if they didn't have a special coach, didn't have a special player, and a special team in general with young guns, fighting, they shouldn't have overcame what they overcame. Like, this is literally like a testament to a lot of things positively that's going right for the Atlanta Hawks. So when you look at it from that perspective, obviously it's like, damn, Nate McMillan did a great job, man. He did a great job. There's nothing but, if you didn't promote him, like, this would have been the all-time, like, what are y'all doing? Like, this would have been the all-time blunder for the Hawks organization. So obviously they did the right thing and they hired him. So, congrats to Nate McMillan, obviously long overdue, well-deserved. So when you look at it now, outside of that, you look at Trae Young, man. Trae Young finally, established himself as a superstar. If you don't look at Trae Young as a superstar, there's something wrong with you. Because the fact that you have Luka, you have other guys as a superstar, and they haven't done what Trae Young just did. Like, look what he just did versus who he did it against. Upset after upset after upset. You know what I'm saying? And even some people could say the only reason why Atlanta didn't go to the finals or even push it 7 games, Trae Young was injured, and yet they still pushed it 6. With Trae Young injured. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, come on now. It's a testament to just his leadership, a testament to his fight, his all-star, like his superstar type of talent, because you can't have Luka as a superstar and not have Trae as a superstar. You can't do that. Yes, Luka is getting his individual numbers, but it's not translated in getting out the first round for 2 straight years. And this is this guy's first playoffs. This is not a knock against Luka, but you can't, it's just a exposing and just giving a fair narrative and just showing you how it's biased love, how you can give this praise for Luka. No one's saying that Luka don't deserve praise, right? I only bring up players in comparison just because of how it's just showing the moving the goalposts in terms of how the media and how fans move, right? And I always like to highlight these things just as a way to kind of remove that bias. So it's like, okay, my fault, I'm tripping. Let me see what he's saying. Because if you don't do that, it's kind of, what are you talking about? And they always going to come with these narratives. So I have to debunk narratives, and sometimes I have to bring up other players when I don't really want to, because it's all about Trae Young in my eyes. But you have to, because you have to kind of show what's being fair. You have to show the level tier of these players. They're on the same level. Obviously, individual, Luka has maximized, or not maximized, but has done better than Trae when you look at his individual, the numbers, the stats, the analytics, whatever, percentages, all of that type of stuff. But it's not just about that, because at the end of the day, the man, Luka, and the Mavs haven't got out the first round, and they faced the Clippers 2 straight years. They pushed 1 to 6 and got better and pushed it to 7 the next year. But at the end of the day, you got to look at it. People looked at the Mavs as a better team than the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? The difference is that there's a testament. There's something to be said by having the Hawks get out the first round and going, not just out the first round. If you want to say the Knicks, whatever, is, they're more evenly matched, whatever. But then you beat in Philadelphia. Like, that's a testament to Trae Young and the team. So when you look at it, it's like, you can't just keep putting this person on a pedestal, but then someone else is doing greater things as a team. But then you all say team is everything, and then now you discredit him. Because I promise you, if Luka did what Trae Young did, they would say he's the GOAT. He's going to be a future GOAT. That's what they would say. So you have to understand that you can't keep moving the goalposts. You have to just be honest and, just call it like it is when it happens, when stuff transpire. So when you look at it from that perspective, man, like, remember, this is a testament to play styles. Trae Young is facilitating. Obviously, Luka's facilitating too, but his guys aren't just being catch and shoot guys. He's able to play with an inside big. He's able to, you know what I mean? Luka is normally playing with, you got to be a spot up. Like Porzingis, spot up, I got to get the paint. Because if they ran pick and roll with Luka rolling, that would let Porzingis catch a lot of alleys, and that could obviously change how you run your offense. But it's more so the Luka offense. Trae Young, it is Trae Young doing a lot in that offense, but it's just not the Trae Young offense. Mans can eat. Herter could go to work. John Collins gets post-ups. I don't see Porzingis get post-ups. It's not just Trae Young. Like, you got to understand. Yes, it's Trae Young, but he's not just running the same offense every single time. It might start from that, but there's times, go ahead, Gallinari post up. Lou Will, when he's out now, run your offense, right? You can see them, they eat even when Trae Young's not out there because they have a system, they have a flow going. If Luka's always the offense, the minute Luka's out, what, Brunson's going to run the same offense that Luka's running? It don't look the same, don't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? At that point, go post a Porzingis. They don't do that. You see John Collins post up. You see, you know what I'm saying? You see Lou Will don't do his PNR and that type of stuff. You see Gallinari post up. You see Herter run some actions. You see Bogdanovich run some actions and ball handle. Mans can get the rebound and push. Mans get the rebound, throw it to Luka. Like, it's Luka everything or die. So it's a testament to Trae Young as well, being able to play off ball, being able to let his guys eat. You know what I'm saying? And I always say that assists aren't just what makes a teammates better. It's letting them eat, letting them be at their strengths, and you sacrificing somewhat, or not even sacrificing. Your strengths are so elite that you don't have no weakness. I could play elite on ball. I could play elite off ball. I could do it all. I don't have to always have the ball in my hands. And you know what I mean? I don't want to even make this about that, but I'm just saying, establish Trae Young as a superstar. They both are superstars entering this league. They might be young, yes, but they're superstars. There's no way Trae Young did what he did and is not a superstar. You have to be blind or biased, one of the two. There's no way. Or hateful or whatever it is. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way, dog. There's no way. So anyways, we move past that. Just tip my hats off to the Hawks. You know what I mean? Give credit where credit is due. Trae Young is about that. He's one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that if you really know. I'm not even going to go into further of how elite, you know, how much assets and how much elite things he has at hand. But at the end of the day, you just got to understand what elite looks like, man. So we move past that and let's go into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the Bucks and the Suns in the finals. Now, a lot of people obviously are going to bring up injuries and all that type of stuff. This is why I want Giannis to be fully healthy. The reason why I want Giannis to be fully healthy. So now, all of that shit that happened in the earlier rounds and all that type of stuff is not going to really matter, because as long as you're facing a great team in the finals and they're healthy, that role don't matter. It really don't. Obviously, people will bring it up and whatever, but people will forget about that shit. That role don't really matter, because that literally, if you look at it, happens with every other. Now, not to this magnitude, but it happens. Every champion has had a time and point, maybe in their rounds. It's actually rare that you see a team face 3 straight tough teams before they get to the finals, or 4 straight tough teams fully healthy and they win. It rarely happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it rarely happens. You might face 3 tough teams, or you might face, you niced yourself in the regular season, so you're the first seed. You face 2 doo-doo teams, even if they're fully healthy, they're not elite. You know what I'm saying? And the team that you do face, one guy might be hobbled, or one crucial guy is injured. Even if it might seem like a role player, but it's like a DeAndre Hunter type of guy, right? He's crucial. He's in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? An OG type, some type of guys, and like there's always injuries all over the place. That's why they say it's a little bit of luck to actually get to the finals, right? You have to have a little bit of luck on your side, whether it's KD's foot on the line, his big toe, whether it's even Middleton said it. You have to have a little bit of luck sometimes. That's when you feel like it's just my time. I got to capitalize. Chris Paul, he had unlucky in terms of his shoulder, COVID, all that type of stuff. They won those games. They won some of those games too. Don't act like it's just, favorable on their end. They also had to deal with it as well too. So, it's just, you can't just ride with the injuries and that. But at the end of the day, the finals being injured is more so what sits with people. Caleb and Kyrie were injured, right? KD was injured. Like, that sits with people, the finals. All the other shit beforehand don't really sit with people, right? It's the finals. So now that we get that out the way, I hope Giannis is fully healthy, or at least 90%. You know what I'm saying? I'm wishing for that, so we could have a great series, and I think it's going to be a great series regardless. These teams are more so evenly matched. You know what I'm saying? You got Ayton and Giannis. They more match up against each other well. I think that the Suns, if they were smart, Monty Williams is a smart coach. I don't think he's going to have guard Lopez. Lopez is on the perimeter. Now we know Lopez can go on the block and go to work and go in the paint. You've seen him do it without Giannis. This is why I try to tell people, understand play styles. You'll see, just people don't understand. This is like they don't understand why the results are the results, right? They see the game. Some people, there's levels to this. Some people can see the game and have an eye for understanding not just the stats, but understanding the eye test. And then there's some people that they have the eye test, but they just react to what the eye test is telling them. They don't understand why you're seeing what you're seeing in terms of the eye test. That's a next level of IQ, understanding, okay, this guy's out because this guy's out. This guy can now do more because of this play style. Although assessing those things at hand, right, is people just react, oh my God, Porzingis is just on the perimeter shooting threes. The same man that roasted Lopez and said, why can't he just go on the block? Why don't he just go in the paint? Lopez is just standing on the 3-point line. Oh my God, you're 7 foot, man. Get rebounds. 1 rebound. All you shoot is 7 points. Like, they're just roasting Lopez, dog. Giannis is there. Giannis is the MVP. Giannis is allowed to be the MVP because man sacrificed their game and they play in a different play style in order to, highlight and let him kill in his strengths because he has weaknesses. This is how it goes. This is why I try to tell people, like, dog, like, you have to understand the game on that level, understanding how everything adds up. Understand why what you're seeing is why. This is why I said the same thing with Ben Simmons. I promise you, if you put Ben Simmons in Milwaukee, and I'm saying I like ability at the end of the day, but I'm just being fair. If you put Ben Simmons, the same guys who like Giannis are the same people roasting Ben Simmons. How does that make sense? Can Ben Simmons just go in the paint and eat when you have Embiid on the block? No, it's a play style clash. I've been saying this from the dawn of time. Ben Simmons, you put him with Milwaukee, and he has a big man who's just going to stay on the 3-point line. Because remember, Lopez is not like Embiid, but he used to play like Embiid. Shoot threes, go to the paint, mix it up, do it all. He used to when he was with Brooklyn. You'd be seeing this. They literally was giving him the rock in the post, focal point, averaging 20 plus. Don't get it twisted. Know the game. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. And what did they do? Lopez. It's a new NBA. Just chill in the corner. Spot up. Don't set no screens. It's Giannis running the actions. Giannis is setting the screens. Giannis is coming downhill. Giannis is the center, basically. And Lopez is playing like the power forward. Spot up. So imagine Ben Simmons now, same Embiid, Lopez that used to do that. And Embiid, they say, yo, this play style don't work. You posting up all this shit, that's old school. That don't work. Spot up. Sacrifice. Spot up. I promise you, Ben will look more like Giannis. Not the same in terms of obviously attacking the rim, but Ben has more vision. So he's going to, because he has vision, you can't double at times. He's going to have more free range. He's going to go downhill. You know Ben when he's in transition. It's going to look more like Giannis. He's going to be an MVP type of player. I'm telling you. We've seen it. You've seen it with Giannis. The same blueprint. It might not be the same reckless numbers, but it's not going to be too far off. Let's be real. Go look at Ben's stats when Embiid's not there. Go look. And that's what I try to say. People, it's like they just see what they see, and it's like, oh my God, that guy's trash. And they don't understand why you're seeing what you're seeing. That's the next level, but I digressed. The point is, Brook Lopez showed y'all what mans who know the game have been saying, situations are everything. The minute Giannis is out, I could go to the paint freely. No one's clogging. Bruh, man's catching alleys. Bruh, how many alleys? Looking like Lob City. Bruh, like, come on now. On the block, like, kill it. This is why you, bruh, anyways, let me not even go into that because that'll be I'll go on a whole tangent, you know what I'm saying? But the point is that you have Lopez, you have, Giannis obviously going to work and stuff like that. Lopez is on the corner. So there's no point of putting Ayton on Lopez. There's no point. There's literally no point. That's going to be useless. You're just going to have him on the perimeter. When you have a guy attacking the paint all the time, there's no point putting this guy on the perimeter. You would put either Michael Bridges will probably guard Middleton. You'll probably put Crowder on Lopez. That's what they'll probably do, right? A guy who could have grit, maybe box out in whatever, help in the gaps, help rotate. Because Middleton has length, so you would want length to length. I would put Bridges on Middleton. They might start off with Bridges on Lopez, right? They might start off with that. Or they could do something like, maybe put they might just put Booker on go put Booker on Lopez, do cross matches, put Booker on Lopez, put Ayton on Giannis. Obviously, that's what you want. This is like how they had Capella guarding Giannis. You want the big guarding Giannis, sag off, force him to shoot. And if he tries to go to the paint, we mono, we wall up, or not wall up, but I have verticality and I meet you there. You know what I'm saying? I'm already here waiting for you. Similar to what Blake Griffin was doing. You have the big man guarding, right? And then you put Michael on Middleton, and then you put Crowder on Jrue Holiday, or you put Michael on Jrue Holiday, have length on him so he can't be doing what he's doing, his shot creating. And you put Crowder on Middleton, right? And you put Booker on Lopez, and Chris Paul go guard PJ Tucker or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you could do. Or if they start Pat Connaughton, then Chris Paul go guard Pat. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever they do. So you could cross match like that and have your defenders on the guys. That would be smart from Monty Williams. But most likely what he probably would do is probably have Crowder go guard Lopez, have Booker on obviously PJ, Chris Paul guarding Jrue, right? And having Ayton on Giannis. And I think I missed somebody else. Yeah, Crowder guarding Middleton or something. Crowder and Michael Bridges on Middleton and Lopez. One or the two. And on the flip side for the Bucks, obviously, you know, we'll see how valuable PJ Tucker will be in this series in terms, because he's not guard like KD. Like PJ Tucker was able to guard, like he guard big man type of guys, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, he normally was he was playing small ball in Houston, right? So now when you have him guarding KD and stuff like that, KD isn't just going to blow by and kill PJ Tucker with quickness all the time, right? Because PJ Tucker is short. But KD's length will kill him with with a double cross and with length. And then when he beats him, then obviously he has enough quickness that PJ won't get back in time. But it's going to be normally length is how he's killing him, right? It's not just speed. It's length. So now that's why PJ Tucker could try to combat that, right? And counter that with physicality. When you have a guy that's long, lanky, athletic in terms of length and stuff like that, you're going to kill him and crowd him, kill his space. So he can't get to that double cross, because when you give him enough space and you add length to that, space with space is just is destruction. Like you can't give a guy with length enough space to do the double cross. Like, dog, you're gonna be shifty and you're gonna say, "Oh, did you miss me?" That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna be moving swiftly. I'm telling you, man. So PJ was smart. Crowd him, and get under him and get so he can't even get to that double cross and kill him with physicality, right? That's what you want to do. That's what, again, if you go look at KD back in the day, that's what World Peace tried to do with KD until KD started adding the post, the turnarounds, and then that's when World Peace was just getting destroyed and kept the space and then would kill him with the, dog, you can't move lateral with that. So when you look at that, that's obviously how PJ Tucker normally uses his strengths, how he guards and where his value is at the table, right? And you can't it's like, which one are you going to do? They don't have a guy with length like that killing. The guy with length like that, you're going to put PJ Tucker on Michael Bridges, then his values, you just put him on a spot up guy, his values are not really used, right? You would want him to guard either Booker or Chris Paul. Can he guard Booker? I mean, they might put PJ Tucker on Booker, but he already off speed, it's already a disadvantage for PJ Tucker. You try to be physical with him, he has speed, so it's like you can't be as physical with speed. You can try and contain them, but when a guy just has speed, when he's just quicker than you know what I'm saying? The physicality doesn't really, it gets canceled. It really gets canceled, right? Unless you're physical and you're quick. So that's where you see perfect examples like Jrue Holiday guarding a guy like Kyrie. They're both quick, but Jrue Holiday is physical and quick. He has both combinations. So that's why it's like he could put him on a Harden. You could put him on a Kyrie. Like, his defense is elite. But where he now has a disadvantage is guarding the KD who has the length, speed don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand these type of assets that mans have, these type of what counters what in terms of just the game, in terms of just the physique, in terms of just the physicals, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, Jrue Holiday would probably be best, and that's the thing. They have Chris Paul and D Book. You have two shooting guards in a PNR type of situation, so you can only have one guard and one. If Jrue is guarding Chris Paul, okay, Book go off. If Jrue is guarding Book, okay, Chris Paul go off. They don't have two of those guys, so Middleton is probably gonna have to step up defensively. Pat Connaughton, maybe PJ don't start, and maybe they use Pat Connaughton because he is a solid defender, but it's like Is Pat Connaughton going to really stop Booker or Chris Paul? No, you have like they only have one of those guys. Middleton is a lanky, long defender. He's not going to get low and stop up, So it's like I don't know how they're going to play. This is why one of the reasons why I have an advantage for the Suns, because you look at it, the Bucks already struggled with PNR with Trae Young. One guy. You had one guy they struggled with in PNR. Lopez is playing drop coverage. The man had 48 in PNR. KD in PNR, you struggle, you know what I mean? They struggle with PNR, with drop coverage, with guys who could pull up in the gaps, pull up in the midi, pull up from three, whatever the case is. And it's only when they had one guy of doing that, they struggled. When they had two guys doing that, you had Kyrie and you had KD. You seen how they were up 2-1 and it was blowouts. And even that game 3, they almost lost, right? So basically you had 3 games technically where you struggled. You almost lost. So that's where I look at the Suns more equivalent to the Nets in terms of that situation. You have 2 guys that are able to run PNR at all times and mix it. You can't just focus on one. Because when you focus on one, you still were pushed to basically 7 games and you struggle with guarding that guy in the drop coverage. You struggled. KD struggled. They struggled with Trae Young, for real, before he got injured. So when you look at it from that perspective, now you have, again, 2 guys in PNR, Chris Paul and D-Book. Like, I haven't seen the Bucks successfully guard the PNR. And, they, in terms of drop cover, because it's not just one guy. It's not defensively one guy anymore. It's literally a team defense. Whether you shrink the floor from everyone else, they kind of play in a zone play, man help. And then the guy either plays high on the drop, plays low. There's ways you double team. You know what I mean? All that, you rotate properly. There's ways. There's different schemes in order to cancel the PNR. Switch everything, but Lopez is going to get fried. So that's why they don't like to do that. So, I haven't seen the Bucks successfully guard 2 master PNR offensive players, two master PNR maestros. I haven't seen them guard that. They struggled with 1, and now, especially elite ones, they struggle with 2. So this is what happened. This is where this is why I'm going to lean more towards the Suns to win this series. I got them in 6 or 7. I don't think it's going to, it's tough. It could go 7. The thing is with Giannis running downhill, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. That shit where the Bucks have been playing against guys who, again, they say the Nuts struggle defensively, and the Nets aren't the greatest in terms of individual one-on-one defenders. They played great team defense, and they overexceeded defensively in terms of what people thought they would do, which I always said is going to happen like that in the playoffs. But individual defenders and moving with mobility, quick, they had to be in tune in order to do that, right? Which is why you'll see timely stops and stuff like that. And still they padded the Bucks. So if the Nets are able to pad the Bucks like that, what do you think the Suns are going to do, who actually have 3-and-D defenders galore? What do you think is going to happen? You think Middleton is just going to fry Bridges like that? Mans are even quick enough to actually, on the pick and roll. Let's say they trap Middleton. They're enough to rotate, get back, and then they pass to the corner. Mans rotate quick. Like, I'm telling you, man, people are going to be shocked. People are going to be shocked. I think the Suns in 6. It could go 7, but if I had to put my money on, I'll put the Suns in 6. The reason why I say 6 is because I've seen them with 3-and-D. I just see their, and then now the Bucks, because they run fast too, if the Suns could play a half-court game with Chris Paul and whatever, and then they could also play a fast-paced game. Now, they did struggle versus the Clippers because the Clippers played great defense, right? And they had a Pat Bev. They had 2 guys who could get into the Chris Paul and the Devin Booker dynamic in terms of the PNR. They only have 1 guy in Drew Holiday. So, you know what I mean? They had Pat Bev, and then who else did they have those playing great defense? They had guys, even like Reggie, Paul George. There was guys who were playing great defense regardless. They had multiple perimeter defenders. Then you had Morris playing the small ball who would gap or whatever and force Ayton. But now you have a guy who's going to play drop coverage. So when they play drop coverage, you've seen how Chris Paul, Devin Booker fried when Zubac played drop coverage. So, you know what I mean? I just see it. Honestly, I just see it being the Suns in 6. I think it's just Chris Paul's time. Just, when you see stuff it's kind of like you just see fate. You just see fate. You could just see it in real time. When you see stuff just line up perfectly like this, right? It's, oh my God, he's about to lose a 3-1 lead again. Then you see him drop 41. Like, you could just see everything match up perfectly. You could just feel it. You could just feel it. I could smell it. I could feel it in the air, beanie. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put on that beanie and go to work on your beanie. I'm telling you, man. I could just feel it, man. I could just feel it. And then now when I use just the IQ and then I break down the personnel, I don't think Booker and Chris Paul could be stopping. And then you have 3 supreme guys. Like, defensively, you have Cam Johnson and they could shoot. And then you have Michael Bridges who could, you have Jay Crowder. Like, Ayton still is going to, like, obviously, when you just look at big versus big, but he doesn't get it in the post like that. OD is going to get into pick and roll. So through the drop coverage, you might cancel Ayton for a minute. Ayton might not be dominated to start out the games and stuff like that because you're in drop coverage, but Booker's going to be fried. Bucket, pull up. CP3, pull up, escape, fade away. Like, what what time it is with the midi. And in a minute, now, oh my God, now they play tight. Then now, alley. Ayton's going to be the counter to what they do. So he might not eat to start, but after they adjust to the fry, the mid-range frying, then you'll start seeing Ayton start eating. You know what I'm saying? Or they try to switch everything. Maybe take Lopez out, go more small, put Bobby Portis in, or put Giannis at the 5, or if he's playing or whatever. And they try to go more small. Then you're gonna see, like, honestly, like, you're gonna see the Bucks. They're gonna struggle offensively. I could see that. The Suns' defense is for real, man. Like I've always said that from time. They're 3-D, like. And then again, the Bucks have great defense too, so it's not like it's gonna be sweet like that one-on-one. No, but that PNR has been the Bucks' kryptonite. It has. No matter what team, their PNR, when you have guys that can play it for real, they have struggled with that. They have. Now again, they can maybe be physical and they'll try and do that physical type play that maybe it might throw them off, but the Suns have been used to that, right? So it's like, I mean, the Suns, when they increase the tempo, is normally over. So I just look at that PNR just so damaging. I haven't seen the Bucks successfully counter that. So I just think that they're gonna get to a point where they're gonna hit shots at times, and then they're gonna do their normal struggle, like when you have great defensive teams locking the Bucks up because they don't have a guy that they just go to every single time. Middleton has to get into that groove. Once Middleton gets into that groove and he becomes that shot creator, when Middleton's unlocked like that, that's when the team now gets unlocked overall, right? But Middleton, he doesn't just come out the gate. He rarely does it. Some games he does here and there, but especially on the road, like, he doesn't always do it. He does it in moments and spurts. So that's why I think they'll win 2 games just off of that. And, I just don't think that, they can counter the Suns' potent 2 maestros running the PNR. I just think it comes down to that, to be honest. And then Ayton's going to unlock from that. So you already know. We'll see how it transpires. We'll see how it pans out. I'm going to obviously do breakdowns. The game is tomorrow, depending when this video comes out, tonight or tomorrow, whatever. But I'm going to definitely do breakdowns every game, obviously. And, it's going to be elite. It's going to be elite. I hope Giannis is healthy so we can get a great series. It's just going to be, it's literally a big 3 versus a big 3. You got Giannis, well, let me put it who's matching up. You got Drew, point guard, versus Chris Paul, right? You got Middleton, guard, wing, versus Booker, guard, wing. Then you got Ayton, big eating the paint, versus Giannis eating the paint. So you got a trio that matches. So when you look at it, it literally is actually more even than people think, right? It's a great even play. Both teams, they have great role players around them, right? 3-and-D guys as well, too. So it's like the hierarchy's established. And, obviously, it's going to be a great battle, man. I'm excited to see it. It's funny how, obviously, we thought the KDs, the LeBrons, all these other guys, the Kyries, the big names was going to be in the finals. And this is a testament to just anything can happen anytime. And I'm still going down. I'm going down on the hill with the Nets. It came down to KD's big toe. Middleton knows. The Bucks know. So, you know what I mean? It didn't even come down to injuries, even though it came down to injuries. But it's still, that man is that disgusting. You got to trust him. You know what I'm saying? If that big toe was behind the line, we'll be seeing a different team in the finals right now. Trust me. Because Kyrie comes back, it's over. But, you know what I mean? It just, injuries happen like that. So, again, they have to obviously overcome it, and we'll see how they go next year. But, and then also, too, man, the finals, and then they got the Olympics right after. So, what if it goes 7 games, that's July 22nd, 3 days. They got they start the Olympics already. So, and that's going to be Booker, Middleton, and Drew, right? Those 3 are in the finals right now, and they're going to have to go to Olympics. So, obviously, it's going to be exciting. We got basketball's not going to end for a minute. So, I'm excited for that, obviously. So, let's go into the finals. Let's see. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, who y'all got in your series and why, you know what I'm saying? Who y'all think is going to fry and all that type of stuff, Spread the word. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? Again, I appreciate y'all. Again, now that once the finals kind of gets off and starts ending, even in the space and in the gaps between these finals games. Again, I'll talk about the Raptors. You already know they got the 4th pick. I haven't talked about it. I've just been waiting. Who I think they, is their prospects. All that type of stuff. We'll talk about all of that. Other teams. We got the Clippers, Kawhi free agent. All that type of stuff. We'll talk about a lot of things. Go check the last video. I did talk about what they need to do next. But at the end of the day, right now, it's about the finals. You feel me? And we'll get into it and, we'll discuss and we'll see what's happening. Those breakdowns, those lip reads are going to be nice, man. They're going to be nice. Spread the word. You feel me? Again, it's True Talks because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. Again, you already know. Click that notification button so you know when I'm here. Because I'm here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. And I'm out, man.